speaking out against her Grey's Anatomy co-star, Isaiah Washington. Washington, standing with the show's cast, used a homophobic slur about an on-set incident with fellow cast member T.R. Knight.
Hollywood might look like smiles and red carpets, but behind the scenes, it can get really ugly. From stars who refuse to follow direction, to actors who made entire film crews quit on set. These are the 22 black actors everyone secretly hated working with. Stick around, because number 22 isn't just surprising, it might actually change how you see one of Hollywood's biggest legends forever. 1. Terrence Howard.
Pythagoras was searching for. I was able to open up the flower of life properly and find the real wave conjugations.
Starting our list is Terrence Howard, the talented actor known for his roles in Hustle and Flow and the first Iron Man movie. Howard has been involved in several controversies throughout his career that have made him challenging to work with. His departure from the Marvel Cinematic Universe after the first Iron Man film was surrounded by conflict. Reports suggest that disagreements over his salary and difficult behavior on set contributed to Marvel's decision not to bring him back for the sequel, with Don Cheadle replacing him as War Machine. But that's not all. Howard has been open about his unconventional beliefs, including his own mathematical theories that contradict established science, which he's tried to discuss extensively on sets. Co-workers have described him as intense and sometimes unpredictable. On the set of Empire, where he played Lucius Lyon, there were reports of tensions with producers and fellow cast members. Howard's perfectionism and strong opinions about how scenes should be shot often led to extended discussions and delays. Despite these challenges, there's no denying Howard's talent. He's delivered powerful performances throughout his career. However, his reputation for being difficult has affected his career trajectory in Hollywood, with some producers hesitant to work with him despite his undeniable skills as an actor. 2. Mo'Nique.
That woman pulled me to the side and said, "Come here, little girl. What's wrong with you? Don't you ever let them see you fall apart."
Mo'Nique is an Oscar-winning actress who gained recognition for her powerful performance in Precious. However, her career took a controversial turn after she spoke out about being blackballed in Hollywood. The conflict began when Mo'Nique refused to promote Precious during the awards season without additional compensation. She felt that promoting the film internationally was beyond her contractual obligations and should be paid separately. This stance reportedly upset director Lee Daniels, producer Tyler Perry, and media mogul Oprah Winfrey, who felt her refusal hurt the film's chances. Mo'Nique has claimed that these three influential figures essentially blacklisted her from Hollywood, making it difficult for her to get work. She also sued Netflix for racial and gender discrimination after they offered her significantly less money for a comedy special compared to other comedians. While Mo'Nique's points about fair compensation are valid, industry insiders have suggested that her approach and public callouts made studios nervous about working with her. She's been described as uncompromising and difficult to negotiate with. Mo'Nique maintains that standing up for herself and other black women in the industry was worth the professional cost, but there's no doubt that her reputation for being difficult has impacted her career opportunities in recent years. 3. Isaiah Washington.
No, I did not call TR a faggot. It never happened. Never happened.
Isaiah Washington had a promising career that took a serious hit after incidents on the set of Grey's Anatomy. Washington played Dr. Preston Burke on the popular medical drama, but his time on the show ended abruptly after he used a homophobic slur against co-star T.R. Knight during an on-set altercation with Patrick Dempsey in 2006. The incident created a toxic work environment and made headlines when Washington denied using the slur at the Golden Globes, only to repeat it during the press conference. This led to his firing from the show despite issuing apologies and attending counseling. Cast members, including Katherine Heigl, spoke out against his behavior, and Washington's actions were widely condemned. After his departure, Washington struggled to find major roles in Hollywood. He's claimed that he was blacklisted and has been outspoken about what he perceives as unfair treatment. While he's found some work in television and film since then, including a role on The 100, his reputation was severely damaged. Industry professionals have described him as someone who can be combative and difficult to manage on set. Washington's talent is evident, but his behavior on Grey's Anatomy serves as a cautionary tale about how quickly a promising career can be derailed by unprofessional conduct. 4. Charlie Murphy.
Favorite memory of being a bodyguard?
My favorite memory of being a bodyguard.
Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's older brother, was known for his hilarious stories on Chappelle's Show and his work as a comedian and actor. While beloved by fans, Murphy had a reputation in the industry for being tough to work with at times. Those who worked with him described him as having a short temper and being very particular about how his material was presented. Murphy was extremely protective of his creative work and didn't take kindly to suggestions or changes from directors or producers. On several projects, he clashed with production staff over creative differences. Some writers and producers found him intimidating and difficult to collaborate with because he was so set in his ways. Murphy's decades in the entertainment industry had given him strong opinions about comedy and performance, and he wasn't shy about expressing them. Additionally, Murphy could be unpredictable on set. While he was professional most of the time, there were instances where his mood would shift suddenly, creating tension among cast and crew. Despite these challenges, Murphy was respected for his talent and his contributions to comedy. His True Hollywood Stories segments on Chappelle's Show are legendary. Murphy passed away in 2017, leaving behind a legacy as a talented performer who, while sometimes difficult, made significant contributions to comedy. 5. Wesley Snipes.
Prosecutors had pressed for that maximum sentence of 3 years because Snipes did not file his taxes for 3 years. And
Wesley Snipes is a martial arts expert and accomplished actor best known for the Blade trilogy. However, his behavior during the production of Blade, Trinity became infamous in Hollywood. Director David Goyer and co-stars had numerous issues with Snipes during filming. Reports indicate that Snipes would only communicate with the director through post-it notes, often signing them as Blade rather than his own name. Snipes allegedly spent much of his time in his trailer and refused to cooperate with the production schedule. He reportedly tried to get Goyer removed as director and attempted to have the script rewritten during filming. Co-star Patton Oswalt has shared stories about Snipes' difficult behavior, including attempts to physically intimidate other actors. The tension on set was so severe that some of Snipes' scenes had to be completed using stand-ins and CGI. Beyond his on-set behavior, Snipes' legal troubles also affected his career. He was convicted of tax evasion and served time in federal prison from 2010 to 2013. These combined issues significantly damaged his reputation in Hollywood. While Snipes has attempted a comeback in recent years with projects like Dolomite Is My Name, his reputation for being difficult and unprofessional during Blade, Trinity remains a significant part of his Hollywood legacy. 6. Faizon Love.
This movie is a little different because this movie is almost like Jaws, but different.
Faizon Love, the comedian and actor known for roles in Friday and Elf, has developed a reputation for being outspoken and difficult. Love has been involved in several public disputes with other celebrities and has been vocal about feeling underpaid and disrespected in Hollywood. He's publicly criticized Ice Cube and others for what he perceives as unfair treatment regarding the Friday franchise. Love has also had legal issues, including a 2013 incident where he was arrested for assault at an Ohio airport. On film sets, crew members have described him as having a quick temper and being resistant to direction. He's known for wanting to improvise extensively and sometimes refusing to stick to the script, which can create challenges for directors and other actors. Despite his talent for comedy, Love's reputation for being confrontational has limited his opportunities. He's been open about feeling blackballed from certain projects and has suggested that speaking his mind has cost him roles. Industry insiders have confirmed that while Love is talented, his unpredictability and tendency toward conflict make some producers hesitant to cast him. Love continues to work in comedy and smaller film projects, but his reputation for being difficult has prevented him from reaching the level of success his talent might otherwise have afforded him. 7. Cat Williams.
If a person starts their heckling with F America, then that gives me the right to defend my country.
Cat Williams is an incredibly talented comedian and actor, but his erratic behavior has made him notorious in the entertainment industry. Williams has been arrested multiple times for various incidents, including assault charges, and has walked off stage during performances. His unpredictable behavior has made promoters and producers nervous about booking him for projects. On film sets, Williams has been described as difficult to manage. He's known for showing up late, wanting to rewrite scenes on the spot, and having conflicts with directors over creative choices. During the filming of various projects, production has been delayed due to Williams' behavior. His co-stars have had mixed experiences, with some praising his comedic genius while others find him challenging to work alongside. Williams has also been involved in public feuds with numerous other comedians and actors, often calling them out on social media or during stand-up performances. These public disputes have created awkward situations for studios and networks that work with multiple talents. Despite these issues, Williams's stand-up specials, including his famous Pimp Chronicles and his Netflix special Great America, showcase his undeniable talent. However, his reputation for unreliability and difficult behavior means that many industry professionals approach working with him cautiously if they're willing to take the risk at all. 8. Orlando Brown.
Disney Channel star is busted again right here in Las Vegas. Police tell us that Orlando Brown was arrested Monday for possession.
Orlando Brown, who starred as Eddie Thomas on That's So Raven, has struggled with well-documented personal issues that have affected his professional reputation. Brown's behavior in recent years has been erratic and concerning, with multiple arrests and troubling social media posts. His struggles with substance abuse have been public, and his behavior has made it virtually impossible for him to maintain steady work. Those who've attempted to work with Brown in recent years describe an unpredictable and sometimes incoherent presence on set. He's missed scheduled appearances, shown up to gigs in no condition to work, and made bizarre statements during interviews. His former Disney colleagues have expressed concern for his well-being, and attempts to help him have been met with resistance. Brown's situation is particularly sad because it represents a talented child actor whose career was derailed by personal demons. Unlike some others on this list who are difficult due to ego or perfectionism, Brown's challenges stem from what appear to be serious mental health and substance abuse issues. While this makes him difficult to work with, it's a situation that warrants compassion rather than condemnation. Brown's case serves as a reminder of the darker side of childhood fame and the importance of mental health support in the entertainment industry. 9. Columbus Short.
Scandal on ABC features 2 African Americans in the leading roles, and that is rare in primetime television on broadcast network.
Columbus Short had a promising career with roles in Scandal, Stomp the Yard, and Cadillac Records. However, his time on Scandal ended after reports of erratic behavior both on and off set. Short struggled with substance abuse during his time on the show, which affected his work. He was reportedly difficult to manage, with mood swings and unpredictable behavior that created tension with the cast and crew. Short's personal life also created problems for the production. He was involved in multiple legal issues, including domestic violence, allegations, and assault charges. These off-screen problems spilled over into his work, with producers concerned about his reliability. His departure from Scandal was officially described as his decision, but reports suggest that his behavior had made continuing with the show untenable. After leaving Scandal, Short's career stalled significantly. He's been open about his struggles with alcohol and substance abuse and has worked on his recovery. However, the combination of his on-set difficulties and legal troubles has made Hollywood cautious about giving him major opportunities. Short's talent is evident in his performances, but his reputation for being unreliable and the chaos that surrounded his personal life made him someone studios and networks were reluctant to work with during that difficult period of his life. 10. Raven-Symoné.
You just dropped a bomb that we have been saying your name wrong for years.
Incorrectly.
Okay, your last Simone, it's not Simone.
Raven-Symoné might surprise some people on this list. The former child star of The Cosby Show and That's So Raven has been described by various people in the industry as opinionated and sometimes difficult to work with. While Raven is talented and successful, her outspoken nature and controversial statements have created challenges in professional settings. During her time as a co-host on The View, Raven made several controversial statements that sparked backlash, including comments about race and hiring practices that many found offensive. Her colleagues on the show reportedly found her difficult at times, with disagreements about topics and approach. Behind the scenes, sources suggested that Raven's strong opinions and unwillingness to compromise created tension. In production settings, Raven has been described as very controlling and particular about how things should be done. While this stems from her extensive experience in the industry since childhood, it can come across as difficult to directors and producers who have their own vision. Some crew members from various projects have described her as demanding and not always the easiest person to collaborate with. Despite these challenges, Raven has maintained a successful career, but her reputation for being outspoken and headstrong is well known in Hollywood circles. 11. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, the legendary boxer turned actor, brings intensity from the ring into his film and television work. While Tyson has successfully transitioned into entertainment with memorable roles in The Hangover and his one-man show, his volatile history and unpredictable nature have made some producers nervous. On sets, Tyson can be intimidating simply due to his presence and history. Some actors and crew members have expressed discomfort working with him. While Tyson has mellowed significantly in recent years and has been open about his personal growth and therapy, his past reputation follows him. Directors have had to carefully manage situations involving Tyson to ensure everyone feels safe and comfortable. Tyson has also been known to have strong opinions about his roles and how he should be portrayed. He's protective of his image and can push back against directions that he feels don't represent him accurately. Despite these challenges, many people who've worked with the more recent reformed version of Tyson have positive things to say. However, his complicated past and the intensity he brings to every situation mean that working with him requires careful management and isn't for every production. 12. Malik Yoba. Malik Yoba, known for his roles on New York Undercover and Empire, has faced controversies that have affected his professional relationships. Yoba became embroiled in controversy when allegations about his personal life surfaced on social media. While defending himself against these allegations, Yoba made statements about his attraction to transgender women that sparked significant backlash and confusion. The controversy created awkward situations for productions he was involved with, and some projects distanced themselves from him during this period. Industry insiders have described Yoba as someone who can be intense and difficult to manage when dealing with personal controversies that affect his work. His handling of the situation and his public statements created publicity problems for projects associated with him. Beyond this specific controversy, colleagues have described Yoba as passionate about his work to the point of sometimes being difficult. He has strong opinions about representation and storytelling, particularly regarding black characters, which, while admirable, can lead to creative conflicts. Yoba's career has continued, but the controversies and his reputation for being outspoken about sensitive issues have made some producers cautious about casting him in high-profile roles. 13. Tichina Arnold. Tichina Arnold is a talented actress known for Martin and Everybody Hates Chris, but she's developed a reputation for being demanding on set. Arnold is a perfectionist who has very specific ideas about her characters and how scenes should play out. While this dedication is admirable, it has sometimes created friction with writers, directors, and producers who have different visions. Colleagues have described Arnold as someone who isn't afraid to speak her mind, which can be refreshing but also challenging in collaborative environments. She's been known to push back on scripts and direction that she doesn't agree with, sometimes causing delays while issues are resolved. On the set of Martin, there were occasional tensions as Arnold advocated for her character Pam to have better storylines and more depth. Arnold is also very protective of how black women are portrayed on screen, which means she's willing to fight against stereotypes or material she finds offensive. While this is commendable, it has led to her being labeled as difficult by some in the industry, a label that often gets applied to women, particularly black women, who advocate for themselves. Despite any challenges, Arnold's talent and longevity in the industry speak to her skills, even if some find her strong personality challenging to work with at times. 14. Flex Alexander. Flex Alexander, star of One-on-One, has had reports of being difficult during his show's run. Alexander was reportedly very particular about his role and how his character was developed. There were tensions with writers and producers over the direction of the show, with Alexander pushing for more creative control than is typically given to sitcom stars. Behind the scenes, crew members described Alexander as sometimes demanding and particular about small details on set. He had specific requirements for his dressing room, wardrobe, and how scenes were shot. While some level of input is normal for a show's star, Alexander's level of involvement and his insistence on certain changes occasionally created production difficulties. Alexander has also been involved in disputes over contracts and compensation, which, while potentially justified, created tense relationships with studio executives. Some of his co-stars found him professional and easy to work with, while others felt he could be difficult when things weren't going his way. Since One-on-One ended, Alexander's career has been quieter, and while talent isn't in question, his reputation for being somewhat difficult may have contributed to fewer leading role opportunities in subsequent years. 15. Duane Martin. Duane Martin, known for All of Us and his marriage to Tisha Campbell, has been described by industry insiders as someone who can be challenging to work with. Martin has been involved in various business ventures beyond acting, and his entrepreneurial mindset sometimes clashes with traditional Hollywood hierarchies. He's been known to question decisions made by producers and directors, wanting explanations and sometimes offering alternatives. On the set of All of Us, which was loosely based on his life, Martin had significant creative input. While this made sense given the show's premise, it sometimes led to conflicts when his vision differed from the producers or network executives. Crew members described him as pleasant most of the time, but capable of being difficult when he disagreed with creative decisions. Martin's personal life, including financial troubles and his highly publicized divorce from Tisha Campbell, has also affected his professional relationships. The stress from these situations sometimes manifested on set. Additionally, recent allegations and controversies surrounding Martin have further complicated his professional reputation. While Martin has maintained friendships with several Hollywood figures, his reputation as someone who can be difficult, combined with personal controversies, has affected the frequency and prominence of his acting opportunities. 16. Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson is a multi-talented performer known for the Fast and Furious franchise and Transformers series, but he's developed a reputation for being emotional and difficult. Tyrese's public social media meltdowns, particularly during his divorce proceedings, raised concerns about his stability. His very public disputes with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson over the Fast and Furious franchise made headlines and created awkward situations for Universal Studios. Tyrese accused The Rock of delaying the main franchise with his spin-off movie and aired grievances publicly rather than handling things privately. This public approach to conflict made the studio and other cast members uncomfortable. Tyrese's emotional posts, including tearful videos and dramatic statements, raised questions about his professionalism and ability to separate personal issues from work obligations. On sets, Tyrese has been described as passionate, but sometimes overly sensitive to criticism or direction. He has strong opinions about his characters and the stories being told, which can lead to disagreements with directors. His emotional nature, while making him a compelling actor, can also make him unpredictable in professional settings. Despite his talent and success in multiple franchises, Tyrese's reputation for being dramatic and difficult to manage has made some in Hollywood cautious, particularly about projects requiring long-term commitment and ensemble cooperation. 17. Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans comes from the legendary Wayans comedy family and is incredibly talented, but he's developed a reputation for being particular and sometimes difficult on projects. Wayans has very specific ideas about comedy and isn't shy about expressing when he thinks something isn't funny. This has led to conflicts with directors and writers who have different comedic sensibilities. On film sets, Wayans is known for extensive improvisation, which can be brilliant but also frustrating for directors trying to maintain a schedule and vision. He's been described as someone who will do dozens of takes with different improvised lines, making it difficult to plan shooting schedules and post-production. While this approach has resulted in hilarious moments, it can test the patience of crew members and fellow actors. Wayans is also very protective of the Wayans brand and family legacy. He has high standards for projects bearing his name and isn't afraid to walk away from deals or productions that don't meet his expectations. This has led to some burned bridges with studios and producers who felt commitments weren't honored. Despite these challenges, Wayans' talent is undeniable, and many directors who've worked with him acknowledge that while he can be difficult, the results often justify the extra effort required to manage his creative process. 18. Martin Lawrence. Closing our list is Martin Lawrence, the comedy legend behind Martin, Bad Boys, and numerous hit films. While Lawrence is beloved by audiences, he's had well-documented incidents that have made him challenging to work with. During the run of Martin, there were serious issues on set, including inappropriate allegations from co-star Tisha Campbell Martin, which led to her refusing to film scenes alone with him. The situation became so severe that the show had to be creatively restructured to keep the stars apart, and it ultimately contributed to the series ending. Lawrence has also had mental health struggles, including a 1996 incident where he ran through traffic in Los Angeles, screaming and carrying a gun, leading to hospitalization. These incidents raised serious concerns about his stability and reliability. On film sets, Lawrence has been described as talented, but sometimes difficult to manage. His comedic genius is paired with very strong opinions about how scenes should be played, and he's known for extensive improvisation that can make directors' jobs challenging. There have been reports of tensions on various film sets due to Lawrence's approach to work and his insistence on doing things his way. Despite these issues, Lawrence has maintained a successful career, with the Bad Boys franchise continuing decades later. However, his reputation for being difficult, combined with past controversies and health concerns, has certainly influenced how studios and producers approach working with him. Many acknowledge his talent while also recognizing that managing Lawrence requires patience and careful handling. 19. Janet Hubert. Janet Hubert played the original Aunt Viv for the first 3 seasons in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and if you've watched the show, you know there was a sudden change. She was replaced by Daphne Maxwell Reid, and for years, nobody really knew what happened. But behind the scenes, things were explosive. Janet has been vocal about feeling disrespected on set, claiming that Will's rising star power made him difficult to work with. She said the environment became toxic and that she felt pushed out. Will, on his part, called her difficult to work with in interviews, and for nearly 27 years, they didn't speak. The feud got so bad that Janet wasn't invited to any cast reunions and felt completely ostracized from the Fresh Prince family. She publicly criticized Will multiple times over the years, and he basically avoided talking about her altogether. It became one of those situations where fans had to pick sides, and the drama overshadowed what should have been a celebration of a groundbreaking show. However, and here's where it gets emotional. In 2020, during the Fresh Prince reunion special, Will and Janet finally sat down together. They both cried, hugged it out, and addressed the pain they'd caused each other. Will admitted he wasn't sensitive to her struggles as a single mother trying to negotiate better pay. Janet acknowledged she'd been hurt and carried anger for too long. 20. Damon Wayans and David Alan Grier. The Wayans family is comedy royalty, but even they have their internal conflicts. During In Living Color, the groundbreaking sketch comedy show, Damon Wayans and David Alan Grier reportedly had significant tension that sometimes erupted on set. In Living Color was a high-pressure environment with incredible talent, all competing for screen time and the best sketches. Damon Wayans was not just a cast member, but also a producer and writer, which gave him significant power over what made it to air. David Alan Grier was one of the most talented performers on the show, and both men had strong opinions about comedy and their characters. According to various accounts from people who worked on the show, the two would clash over creative decisions, character interpretations, and sketch ideas. Both were perfectionists who cared deeply about the quality of their comedy, which sometimes meant butting heads over the direction of a sketch or who should get certain roles. Kim Wayans and other cast members have alluded to tensions in the cast over the years, though they've been diplomatic about not airing all the dirty laundry. The competitive atmosphere was part of what made the show so brilliant, but it also meant egos sometimes collided. Despite any behind-the-scenes friction, both Damon and David have spoken positively about the show's legacy and what they accomplished together. David Alan Grier has acknowledged that the environment was intense but ultimately productive, and that the pressure pushed everyone to do their best work. What's interesting is that years later, both actors have expressed respect for each other's talents, even if they didn't always see eye to eye during production. 21. Bill Cosby. Before Bill Cosby's reputation was destroyed by criminal allegations, he had a complicated relationship with his I Spy co-star Robert Culp. While they appeared to have perfect chemistry on screen, and the show broke barriers by featuring Cosby as the first black co-star in a dramatic series, behind the scenes, things were more complex. I Spy ran from 1965 to 1968 and was groundbreaking television. Cosby wasn't playing a servant or stereotype. He was an equal partner to Culp's character, which was revolutionary. However, according to various accounts, the two men had very different approaches to acting and the show's direction. Culp was an experienced actor and writer who had strong opinions about scripts and storylines. Cosby was new to dramatic acting, but was equally strong-willed and confident in his abilities. This sometimes led to creative disagreements about how scenes should be played or what the show should focus on. There are stories about the two having heated discussions on set, with Culp sometimes being condescending about Cosby's acting technique, and Cosby pushing back against what he perceived as disrespect. The tension was apparently managed well enough that it didn't destroy the show, but people close to the production were aware it existed. Interestingly, despite any personal friction, both men spoke respectfully about each other in interviews during and after the show's run. Cosby credited I Spy with launching his career, and Culp acknowledged that Cosby's comedy background brought something special to the role that a traditional dramatic actor wouldn't have. 22. Denzel Washington. During the filming of Antwone Fisher, Denzel Washington's directorial debut, there was reportedly intense conflict between Denzel as the director and Derek Luke as the lead actor. But this wasn't your typical Hollywood beef. It was more about Denzel's demanding directing style, pushing Derek to his absolute limits. Derek Luke was relatively unknown when Denzel cast him in this deeply emotional role about a troubled young Navy sailor dealing with childhood trauma. Denzel, known for his intensity and perfectionism, apparently pushed Derek extremely hard to deliver an authentic, raw performance. This sometimes meant emotionally difficult moments on set, where Denzel would demand take after take until Derek broke through to the truth of the character. According to interviews, there were moments where Derek felt pushed too far, where the emotional demands of the role combined with Denzel's directing style created real tension. Derek has described crying in his trailer, feeling overwhelmed by the pressure, and having moments where he questioned whether he could do what Denzel was asking of him. However, this story has a beautiful ending. Derek Luke has been incredibly gracious about the experience, crediting Denzel with giving him his career and teaching him what it means to truly commit to a performance. He said that while it was difficult in the moment, Denzel's intensity came from wanting Derek to be brilliant, not from any maliciousness. Do you think these stars were truly difficult or just misunderstood? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you loved diving into Hollywood's craziest behind-the-scenes drama, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we've got even more shocking celebrity stories coming your way.